Good morning, AHCP team. Happy Monday. Happy motivational Monday. Today is August 9th. It is a rainy day where I am here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Hope the weather is better by you, but glad to be here with all of you. Again, we're ready to have a great week. Want to start off with a fun little quote to get the morning done right. Some of you, this could be a little trivia on TV trivia, but it's a fun quote in itself. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky by Michael Scott. Again, I am referring to The Office reference, but it's a very good quote in itself. Again, if you don't pick up the phone, make your calls, or don't try to make that sale, you're gonna if you miss, you're never gonna win. So, or if you don't even take a shot, you're gonna always lose. So, good morning, everybody. Let's get started. Here is our agenda for today. We have an action-packed agenda for this morning. We're going to start with our tip of the week. For this Monday, we're going to have a great tip for you this week. Then we're going to go over some shout outs for sales results and go over some of the great things that happened last week for all of you. And then our main topic today is going to be prospecting on LinkedIn and using LinkedIn as a prospecting tool. So let's get started with our tip of the week. This is a great one to start doing if you haven't done this already. I know when you're prospecting, you will leave a lot of voicemails. You'll be talking to a lot of people. It's really important to, really just see what you sound like and see if there's anything you would do yourself by, listening to your own voicemail on improvement. So what you can do, this does not take long at all. It's a 3-minute prospecting workout by Paul Castaigne. And what it really goes about is when a cold call is your prospecting method of choice, which it is our method of choice. This workout from Paul can be used to increase the volume and quality of your prospects. So how this works is at the very beginning of the day, whatever time that is for you, you want to start your day, probably after you've had your morning coffee or energy, by leaving yourself a 30-second prospecting voicemail. So leave yourself a voicemail, call yourself, leave a voicemail, focus on all the main talking points that are out there right now, or main focus points of AHCP. Focus on those and what your pitches are going to sound like that day. Then go about and do your call block or your prospecting time slot. And right around the lunchtime, midday time for you, take a look at that voicemail, listen to it, analyze it. Take any necessarily notes that you feel could improve it, and then leave yourself another voicemail at the end of the day and to see what improvements have been made. Again, the purpose of doing this is to see what kind of quality message, see what the quality of your sound, your pitch of your voice might sound like, just overall just improving your prospecting workouts. So that is my tip of the week for you to start doing. It's probably something a lot of people don't think about or don't do, but it can be a very, again, important tool to use in your toolbox. So if that is your prospecting tip of the week, let's go through some shout outs, some sales leaders and kudos. Focusing on the top sales for short-term medical, Golden Rule and Pivot. For limited medical, we have Golden Rule as well. For accident, NHIC. And dental, we got United. And for Medicare, Aetna. But more importantly, let's go through some of our top sales folks this week or last week. For short-term medical, I would have to say this is probably the coolest name I think I've ever seen. I hope I've getting your name correctly. Katia Santa Maria, very cool name. Lead out the pack for short-term medical, followed by Jacob Gordon and Brandon Combs. Going to the accident, we have Jeffrey Frenzoni and William Cox. Congratulations, a little high five for you. And jumping into critical illness, we have Faith Cannon and William Cox. So those are last week's leaders. Congratulations to you all. Keep up the excellent work. I know it's not always easy, so continue doing what you do. Again, congratulations. Hopefully we can see some great results and see some new names possibly up there next week. But again, congratulations. Awesome job. So this leads us into prospecting on LinkedIn. And many of you probably have heard of LinkedIn. Some of you might not have heard of LinkedIn. It's a tool we find as kind of all over the board on how people use LinkedIn. Some people create a profile and never log back in ever. Some folks create a profile just to have one so you know what they're up to, but they don't really use it. And then there's folks that are in sales that use it to use it for their business, and it can be a very important tool. So what we're going to really do and spend a little bit of time this morning is focusing on ways we can use LinkedIn as a business tool of prospecting. So first of all, by doing that, we have to have a profile. And if you have a profile already, great. If you don't, this is a great time for you to pay attention and look at ways to really create a nice, successful profile for yourself. Again, if you have one already, if you haven't done some of these things, this is a great opportunity to spruce up your LinkedIn profile. So to start it off, you're going to probably want a banner and a profile picture. We find that especially using it as LinkedIn as a sales tool, it's really important to have a picture. And you probably can understand why that is. If you're using this to reach out to folks, it's probably good that they can see your face, see that you're a real person. Also, it's important to have a photo. So use a headshot. If you have a professional headshot, that's even more preferred. Try not to crop your photo, but use a professional headshot. Ideally, something that's relatively recent. As you can see, the bottom one here, great headshot for this person for their profile. The banner as well, also important to have a banner picture. Mine, because I live in the city of Milwaukee, I have the Milwaukee skyline. Just looks nice, right? We just won an NBA championship. It's a great city. But try not to focus on possessions that you have. So if you have a banner picture, even your profile picture, you might be tempted to have that brand new Ford Mustang in you as your profile picture. But LinkedIn is a different tool. It's a business tool. We want to keep things professional. So that's great. If you have a brand new Mustang or a really fun car or a fun boat, or if you got a brand new puppy, that's great. But try to keep those things on your other social media personal pages, such as Instagram, Facebook, or any of the other resources out there for social media. LinkedIn, we want to try to keep professional. So keep those pictures, significant others off of your LinkedIn profile. This is strictly your professional profile. So again, just a recap, make sure you use a headshot if possible, no crop photos. Again, no pictures of possessions. Let's try to keep it as simple as possible. There's a what about you page on there. Important also on there to, again, keep it short and simple. Keep it really targeted on who you are, what are you about, and what have you done. That's really the main focus points. In regards to profile content, a lot of people have different feelings on this. It's definitely very important to have some of your past on there in your experience, but keep in mind, this isn't your resume. Your resume is a different tool. So try to keep your experience bulleted points. Don't go into a lot of detail. Just keep it so someone can understand what that role entails and what you've done. Also for education, do not include high school. If you have a college degree, that's great. Be specific. Be specific on your degree. Also, if you maybe didn't have college, or even in addition to college, any organizations are great, or volunteer opportunities. It really shows you're connecting with your community, that you do a lot outside of even your main responsibilities. So volunteer opportunities are great. Include awards that are only relevant to your field. Want to stress this. Let's just say I had a background in a sport. If I was first place at the Boy Scouts airplane throwing contest, that's not really relevant for me selling insurance. So try to keep things of that nature out of it. But if it's an award, really focus in on something that's relevant to your role, definitely include it. For example, on this one, this person has a speech and debate award, got a gold medal in speech and debate. That's relevant to your field, showing that you're well-spoken and you're able to really speak to a lot of different points. So that is relevant to your field, but try to keep those awards, again, relevant to your field. Some other very important parts are recommendations. Think of this as like your references in a sense for LinkedIn. People are going to want, when they view your profile, they'll see what it's like to work with you, to work for you. So try to keep your references or recommendations, as LinkedIn has them, relevant again to your field, but also have a diverse setup of people who you have recommendations from. I would say definitely a recommendation is not to have friends and family. Have it be someone that you've worked with in the past, you've maybe reported to in the past, or customers. As you can see in the examples below, this person has someone that was a counterpart or a coworker, so you can see what it's like to work with this person. You have someone who actually was this person's leader. So here's where you give a sense of what it's like to work for that person, and then a customer profile. So also a customer featured in there. So very important, again, ask former colleagues, people you think that would give you a good recommendation, but also offer to write one for them as well if they would like. It's also good to return the favor. Definitely shows credibility in your field, your work ethic, your experience, and what it's like to conduct business with you. So very important stuff. Moving on to content. People are very tempted to post things, and that's great. LinkedIn's a great place to post things. So let's talk about some good to-dos and not to-dos for posting things on LinkedIn. Again, think about the audience you're trying to reach. Think about the relevance. You want always postings that are going to be relevant to your audience. If you're selling insurance, you probably want to stick to something in the insurance realm. Also, another thing is to keep things, if you're posting, that you're credible on. So for example, if I would post something on sports cars, I'm in insurance for AHCP. What do I know about sports cars? What are people going to care what my opinion on sports cars is if I'm in an insurance business? People aren't going to trust they're not going to care about my opinion. However, if I would say something about something AHCP is selling right now, being as I work for AHCP, that would be very, very relevant, a great resource to use. Feel free to reshare things that AHCP comes out with or create your own. So great way to connect with your audience. So engage with your network. One thing I can't stress enough too is look through your network of people. If you haven't already or haven't in a long time, you might find great resources, people that are maybe also in the insurance field that can help you. So definitely look through your connections, but engage with your network. People have a lot of their anniversaries on there. They share their birthday, they share their promotions. Feel free to engage with them, like, comment, say congratulations, say happy birthday. So it's very important, again, share and engage with your network. Some no-fly zones here, folks. Just want to make sure we cover them because people, we want to provide you some great direction. Do not use LinkedIn as a version to replace your calling methods. Again, LinkedIn is a great, I call it a tool in your toolbox. It's not the main tool you're going to use. Also, you'll see sometimes people will send you a blind request. If you don't know someone at all and they have no idea who you are, it's a really good best practice not to just send them a connection request or spam. Don't try to sell them insurance if they don't know who you are. Try to at least connect with them first through the phone and then add them on LinkedIn. That's a great best practice. Also, any proprietary AHCP information, do not share. Let AHCP's public or our PR department and our legal department do that for you. Another one I've almost forgot about, but I want to throw in there is definitely a no-fly zone on LinkedIn talking about politics, religion, and social issues. Leave that to your personal page, but if you're trying to reach people for business, anybody with a varying opinion might that's different than yours, you might lose them or you might offend someone. So just try to keep all that stuff off of LinkedIn at all possible. So those are some great practices to avoid. So just make sure we keep in track on that. Let's talk about some prospecting best practice and some great things you can do using LinkedIn. One is using the search filters to find your target audience. There's a lot of things in the settings you can do to find who you're really trying to target. Also, if you're going to send a connection request, preferably to someone that you've already met before, make it really personal. Use their name, something you know about them, and really use it as a follow-up to your phone calls. Because LinkedIn can be a great resource where people get back to you because they get notifications right to their phone when something comes in. Also, groups. LinkedIn groups are awesome. If you can find one relevant to your field, joining, participating is a great thing to do for LinkedIn. There's a lot of groups out there in the health insurance and any type of insurance field. Great to get involved with those. Also, your time you're using LinkedIn. LinkedIn's can be used at any time, right? But we find there's a lot of great results in LinkedIn and kind of the off-peak hours, meaning that before people go into work or after people get home from work, they kind of go into their phones. They're in their down period. It's a great time to use LinkedIn during evenings, weekends, during the lunch hour, even before work. Great ways to use LinkedIn. So send those messages. Typically in the off-peak, you're going to have the best results. So now we've talked a lot about different LinkedIn tips. And we talked about creating your profile. We've talked about some things you could do for, within your profile to help improve it, to bolster it. We've talked about some to-dos and not to-dos. And now I want to give you some carry forward items that you can work with LinkedIn. So I'm going to do this in a start, stop, continue format. So if you don't already have a LinkedIn page, please create one. It's a great tool for you to use for your everyday business needs. If you haven't used one in a while, that's fine. And now it's time to go in and update your profile. Make improvements that you feel like you need to make based on today's presentation. Something to stop doing is stop only using the phone to network with people. Use LinkedIn. You can definitely bolster your business, improve your business by using LinkedIn. Don't send, if you've been sending blind connections, stop doing that. That's not going to give you the best results. Also, spam messaging, also not a great best practice. So don't do that. Some great things to continue doing. Again, creating and sharing relevant posts. Connect with new prospects, connect with new connections, make new connections, and utilize the tips we shared today on this presentation. So I hope this stuff really helped you today. I hope this motivated you to have a very great week here at HCP. I can't stress enough to make sure, if you haven't already, use our, if you have questions, comments, concerns, use our training inbox at training@ahcpsales.com. Or you can call our agency services at 877-288-8773. Again, that's training@ahcpsales.com. And you can call our agency services at 877-288-8773. My name is David Remersma. I'd like to thank you for your time this morning. I hope you all have a fantastic week.